Is there a way we can call people up?
I'll do that.
Okay, we can call a few people and see if we can get them on the call.
All right.
I don't want to start too much explanation. Like, since people are not asking questions regularly, I just want to show them one or two things. But if I start now, people are not here, then it won't be worth it.
Okay, hi, good evening, Mubarak. So I would like to ask a question. I'm so sorry I did not raise my hand, but I'm so sorry. While we are waiting for others, okay. So my deal is maybe not a question in particular, but for me, right, it's like the principles, right? You know, when you taught in class last week, right, it was like everything was in a rush, you know, it was. And for me, I almost like had a brain block, you know, in class. And then I was struggling with, you know, going through, you know, it wasn't recorded. So I was now struggling with looking up YouTube to catch up, you know, and all of that, you know. So for me today, my expectation today is to, even if it's the basics, the elementary, you know, even if you have to, even if you need to get to the point of saying A for apple, B for ball, that's for me it's okay. I can always build on those things. But right now I don't even know, and I won't lie to you, this is me being very honest, I don't know my right from left. I've watched a couple of videos, right? I've even been, even in the conference for last week, I was in some of the workshops that talked about Power BI, data analysis, and all of that. But like the very basics of Power BI, like I don't know it, you know. So that is what. So maybe not a question, but this is what I'm expecting to gain out today at the end of today. So
okay, were you able to do the assignments?
I did it, right? But then when I look through some other people's,
did you show it in class the next second day?
no, there was nobody to show it to class till now.
No, now we presented all the assignments now.
Who was we?
Everybody here on the call presented the assignment. Lolade presented, Jen presented, everybody here presented.
No, I'm not aware of any presentation. Or maybe I got there late. Okay, so it was after the presentation. So, but I wasn't in class. That means I wasn't in class.
Okay, and now we understand where the issue is, and that's fine. We can definitely try and do as much basics as possible, but we need more people on the call, because if I have to go through the basics for only few people, then the other people come back, then we have to go back to the basics again. That won't be sustainable. But if we have anybody with other questions, so that when we have more people on the call, we can go back to basics. Laura, did you have any question? Is there any part of what was taught the last time that you want us to talk about? Hello there. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Wait, Aka Bless is catchy, Abi?
Yes, boss. Yes.
Okay. But actually, you presented now. Was it not your work I changed?
Oh, do you mean like 2 weeks ago?
For the Power BI class.
The first class, Abby?
And there were just 2 days now. The first day, everybody presented, almost everybody at least.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were saying like the assignment that we had to go to
No,
submit.
see, so guys, let me tell you something about this assignment, right? Assignment requires 2 things for you to achieve it. One is knowing Power BI. One is understanding the question. I will not be able to teach you how to understand questions, sadly. You understand me? I definitely can teach you Power BI. But understanding questions, there's not much I can teach you about it. So if the problem is that the assignment that was given to you, you did not understand the questions, that's one problem, separate. If the problem is that, okay, I understand what this assignment is asking me to do, but I don't know how to do it on Power BI, that much I can teach with you. I don't know if you get me there. So if you guys understand what the assignment was asking you to do, but you didn't know how to do it, no problem. I'll show you how to do anything. But if you did not understand the question, that's not a Power BI problem. That's more of a comprehension problem with the question itself. And I've seen those questions, so I understand they are quite tough, which is fine. So what is it that's catching? Is it that you are struggling with the question itself or with Power BI?
Well, I would not say it was comprehension thing because I understood the question, like I understand the question, right? So I won't say I had an issue with the question, but at the same time, but it seemed like it wasn't complete because you see that PowerPoint part, right? The other one in the PowerPoint, all those things that we are meant to create and do. Some of it are not in the question. If you check where I stand to be corrected, some of those do you get what I mean? So there was the PDF that had the questions, right? And then there was a PowerPoint that had the formulas, the DAX formulas to create those additional columns and then all the syntax for it. So the question, right? Those formulas on the formulas in the PowerPoint, but there were even more. Some like there were extra columns, but that were there that were not part of the things that form the questions on the PDF. But then, since we saw it, I mean, most of us saw it, and then we just created the extra additional tables because it was already there. So we just followed the instructions on the PowerPoint. We saw the snapshots of the table that was created already, and then we created ours. That was how I created my own. So I just did it as follow, and I created. But when I analyzed the questions that were asked and those DAX formulas that were offered to us on the PowerPoint slide, they were not part. Some of it were not part of the questions, but then we just did it like that. So if you say,
I think I get you, and I think number one, I'm not even sure that formula should have been presented. I think you guys should be able to do those works without the DAX. The only question I always expect to be difficult here is that one that requires you to use the if condition. I understand that one can be a bit tough. You have to watch videos for that one. But outside of that one, so like question 1 was saying calculate gross sales, calculate the discounts, revenue, profit before tax, profit margin, tax on profits, which means just remove 5% from it, profit after tax, etc. I expect those ones to be quite straightforward because we had done something similar to all those before. Then question 2 was saying create a report overview for segments, states, and products. When someone says create a report overview for segments, so that means look at the different segments based on different metrics. You can look at it based on cost of sales. You can look at it based on profitability. You can look at it based on revenue. That's how you can look at segments, so that you know which segment is taking the most cost of sales, or which segment takes the most profits, or earns you the most profits, or which segment brings in the most revenue. And that's how you can look at segments. So always when you're looking at financial data, you're looking at everything as regards, you're comparing everything with profitability, revenue generation, and costs. So if I wanted to look at segments, I'll be looking at segments in respect to costs. I'll be looking at segments in respect to profitability. I'll be looking at segments in respect to revenue. The same thing states, because when you look at it from states, that will show you what state are you making your revenue from, which states are your most profitable states, and which state is taking most of your costs. The same thing products. If you look at it from a product level, you get your most profitable product, etc., etc. Question 3 says, produce a report on all reports sold between this and this, showing number of sales, sales proportion, and financial performance. So this one now is to do a visual and limit your visual to January to December 2014. I'll be 2014, yes. So if you do a filter on this visual for your dates, you can limit it to that range. And then when they say showing numbers of sales, so that means you show sales there. Sales proportion can be about sales quantity, or maybe the percentage contribution of those sales quantity. And then financial performance. When you say financial performance, that opens you up to revenue, profits, and costs. Those are things you use to judge financial performance. Olade, please shoot. Hello, Olade. Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Olade, can you hear me? Your hands are up. Your hand is up. If you're talking, we can't hear you. So, Olade, we can hear you. If you can hear us. Hi, Mary. How do you do? Hello, Mary. So please, can you guys unmute your mic and speak to me, like just so I can identify the people that can actually hear me?
I can hear you, Kachi.
Yes, I can hear you.
So,
Barak,
okay.
we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So, guys, we discussed a couple of things before you joined, but and I'm hoping I can spend some maybe 30 minutes, going through the basics of Power BI with us. But more importantly, I want to know where you guys are struggling. Where is the problem coming from? Is it that it's the Power BI you did not understand, or was it that when you got the assignment, you just didn't know how to do the assignments? Because I learned half of the class did not submit, and about half of the class complained that they had some issues, some major issues, not just issues. What do you guys want us to talk about? Should we gist? For some reason, I mean,
Let's
you guys
do
you've gone to work all day, so I assume you guys are tired.
So,
And you
hi Mubarak.
mistakenly joined this call. Okay, good. Aye.
Yeah, this is Olayinka.
Yes, please.
Okay, maybe if you could, like you said earlier at the start of this call, if you could run around the DAX, maybe just show us a couple of things. Basically, do you get?
Is your issue is on the DAX? Is that correct?
I'm just saying, like I
But
think
now
that
what you want me to throw more light on is on DAX, right?
on DAX, yeah, basically, you're like okay for some of us that were part of the Excel class. So the relationship and a couple of things might not be difficult, but we all work at different pace. Do you get?
Okay.
And yeah, so if you could basically talk about that, then navigating through what's it called? Uh, the experience of what pivot table on Excel is. Okay, the design, the what's it called? The visuals, the visualization, how to go about massaging and changing colors. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Your X
Anyone
and Y
else?
axis and the likes, the effects, the titles and the likes.
Guys, anyone else?
Yeah, for me, it's visualization. Or when you are, all those charts. Then aside from charts, right? Because basically the assignment, it was all charts. Just do this. In fact, the whole reports visualization of the reports was charts. But the other things like card, you use card in the first class, right? But even me, like I still don't even know what that card can do for me, So I know that I've seen videos, is really powerful. Trust me, but all I'm looking for, like I said initially, is the ABC of it. Then I can build up from there, So something like card, the other things that we didn't use, just visualization. If it's possible to just go through the assignment, right? You just pick some things, so you have visualized it. This is how you do it. You come like this. We'll be fine, to be honest. And I think that's what Zinka is also, just to buttress that as well. Like for us who did the Excel class, some of us, we know how to do these formulas and all. But you see this visualization, I think that's what Power BI is majorly for, so that's it for me. I've not gotten the visualization thing at all.
Okay, so let me see if I can find the assignments on my desktop. So allow me share my screen. So assignments. I'm not sure I got the assignment. Was it sent to me? Now I have the questions, but I don't think I have the data sets. Or was it the same data set we had in class? Guys, was it the same data set we had in class? Okay. Okay, so I think this is it. Office supply. This is the assignments. Okay. Let's open up Power BI. You guys can see my screen, right? Guys, I need you guys to speak up. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we all know how to get data. Click on Excel. I'm using Office Supply. Open. This seems to be the only data we need. I'll just load it directly. Is there anybody that doesn't understand how we got here? And guys, so everybody understands how we got here.
Yes.
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 So it says congratulations on completing your whatever. Okay. It says instruction. Use Power BI solely for your analysis. And then it's saying that discount bound. That if there is a place where they said discount bound is none, that means do not discount at all. If there's a place where they say this discount is low, that makes it 1% discounts. For medium, 5% discounts. For high, 10% discounts. That means we have to do this. That means what this one is basically saying, as far as discount is concerned, is that you have to do an if statement that will say if the discount here is high, then multiply the costs or the price by 0.9. Do you understand why I said 0.9? Hello. So because I'm not in front of you, right? When you move your head, I can't see it. So until you speak, I wouldn't know. So let's look at this discount bound. What we have in this discount bound, can you see it? For every product comes with a discount bound. Can we see it?
Yes.
Yes.
So now it is saying that a product that comes with discount bound none rather. That means there's no discount. So nothing should be applied. Right? Nothing should be applied to the sales price. Because guys, one of those people struggle is what should they apply the discount to? But when you think about it, discount can only be applied to the selling price. Right? You cannot apply discount to the manufacturing price. But these are things they cannot teach you in class. Discount is always on the sales price. So where we see none as discount, it's going to be 0. That means the price is going to remain. And now how do you calculate discounts? How do you calculate discounts? The proper way to calculate discounts is to say, sorry, 1 minute. The proper way to calculate discounts is for you to say 1 minus the percentage of that discount. So if you are dealing with 10% discounts now, that's 0.1. And the answer will be 0.9. If you are dealing with 5% discounts, that's 1 minus 0.05. And the answer to that is 0.95. So this is how much will be remaining. If you give someone a discount of 10%, what you would have left is 0.9. If you give someone a discount of 5%, what you would have left is 0.95. If you give someone a discount of 1 minus 0.01, the discount you have left is 0.99. Do we all understand this? Okay. Is there anybody that does not understand this?
Okay, yeah. Okay, because you see this first one, 0.1, right? And 0.01.
They are different.
The,
0.01 is 1%. 0.1 is 10%.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
100% is 1. Is there anybody that doesn't understand this mathematics here? Guys, I need you to ask questions now, because if you don't, I'm about to do if statements. If you don't understand this one, then you would wonder what is happening in that if statements. Do we understand this, please? Does anybody
Yes,
want me
I
to
do.
explain this?
Yes.
So we're all good. So we have another one. We have 4 actually. There's another one where it says we should not minus anything. That one, I can do that one as 0.0. So the answer will always be 1. So this one is for not. This one here is for none. So for none, if you check that document again, where is it? None says don't minus anything, right? Low is the 1%. So if I come here now for low, 1%, this is it. Sorry, this is it. Medium is 5%. And this is medium. And this one is high. Do you understand this, guys? Guys, please, I need answer. There are about 8 people in this group. Oh, it's only Kashu that has confirmed that he understands it.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we have 2 people now.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody understands this, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, if you want to, based on what you have here now, the first thing you can do, there are 2 ways to do this calculation. You don't even have to do, but the fastest way to do it is that I want to know the actual revenue. The first thing you need to calculate is the actual revenue. Right? So, but before you calculate the actual revenue, so I have the unit sold. The unit sold is this. But let's even look at the question before I even go deep, before I do a deep dive. Right, it doesn't really matter. Let's start with the if statements. So the if statements is going to be, I mentioned earlier, the if statement will be attached to the sales price. Remember that this sales price is the unit price, unit sales price. So what I'm going to do now is to say new column. This is B. I didn't teach if statements in class, and I think I mentioned why. Sorry. So I can call this one discounted sales price. So I can say equals to, I'll say if, open the brackets. What am I testing? If discount bound. So it's discount bound I want to test. If discount bound is equals to, you do double quote like this and put null inside. If it's equals to that, you guys should notice what happened when I do my comma. Right now, it's saying if logical test. So I'm writing the test. I'm saying if discount bound is equals to null, that's my logical test. When I do a comma, it's telling me result if true. What should happen if that is true? What should happen is that it should tell me, it should give me sales price, or it should give me, I can just do, you know what? I can just put the discounts there. I can just put the discounts. So what did we agree that this thing is? For null, what did you call null? 1, Abi? So you can put 1 like this. You can do a comma. You press Alt Enter to come to next line. You can do tab out like this. Then you do another if statement again. If discount again, if discount bound again is equals to low. Comma, what's the result if true? What should it give you? What did you write here? For low. For low, it should be 0.99. So 0.99. Another comma. Then I do Alt Enter again. Then I do tab here. I do another if statement again. I'll do that if statement like 4 times to capture null, low, medium, and high. So again, discounts, if that discount again, if it's equals to medium, then this one should be 0.95. Else, since we know that the only one left is I. The only one left is I, right? So, and for I, it is 0.9. If I press enter here, let me write this code properly. Sorry. So what you will observe now is that it is saying that for every null, I won't call it this discounts, I'll call discounts percentage. Discount percentage. It's not the discount I want here, it is the discount percentage. So discount percentage. This is what's happening here now. Every null is 1. Low is 0.99. Medium is 0.95. And I, where is I? I is 0.9. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Do you guys think it will be possible for you to attend this statement? I'll copy this if statement and share it with you guys. Let us sit down. Do we all understand this, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't hear the ladies.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, we now want to know discounted sales price. So we do another, discounted sales price. We multiply this discount percentage by the sales price. So I come here now. So discounted sales price. And I can do equals to discounts, so discounted percentage multiplied by sales price. Sorry, did I write something wrong? Multiply by sale price. Enter. So what I have here now, is discounted sales price. If I now multiply this guy, so now let's look at the question, guys. So now I've done the requirements here. Let's now look at the question. The first question says gross sales. How do you get the gross sales? Gross sale is going to be units sold multiplied by manufacturing price. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't get that right. Gross sales. So there's a bit of a mistake, which I will correct to the team. Gross sale and revenue is the same thing. You said the if statement you used is different from the one supplied for the assignment in the PowerPoint slide. Let me see if I can find the PowerPoint slide. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why it did not download. It's saying some network issue. But guys, that's not the only way to do this thing. I think what they did in the PowerPoint, there's another way to do it. The other way to do it, I'll show you now. 1 minute. Write this if statement. But this is the easiest way, because what I did here is to break it down for you before multiplying it here. But I can do another discount sales price. Let me show you. Discount sales price. One minute, please. So I can, let's call this 2. Another way to do it, in this case, I'll just call it discount sales price directly. Why you say if this one equals to null, this one multiply by sales price. This one equals to low, multiply by sales price. Where it is equals to this, multiply by sales price. Else this multiplied by sales price. If you do it this way, you press enter, what you find is that you will get the same results as this guy. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me confirm that my numbers are correct. No, my numbers are not correct. One minute, please. I said low. So low should be 0.99. 0.99. Okay, no wonder. I see what's wrong. Sorry. I was using the wrong thing. I'm supposed to use this guy. Sales price. I was using discounted sales price. Okay, I use the sales price there. Enter. what you find is that this guy now and this guy, they are the same thing. So there are many ways to write your if statement. As long as you're writing the correct thing, it doesn't really matter like that. As long as you understand the techniques. What I want you guys to get here is that what I basically did was the same thing. If you look at this first one here, if you look at this one here, sorry. Look at this one here. Just identified what proportion should be used for it here. I didn't multiply it by anything. Last year, and now later came here. Now use the answers I got here to multiply this guy to get this. Whereas when I was doing this one, I already included the multiplication inside. You know, for the first one, I just stopped at this one. And this guy, I didn't put multiply by financial sales price. So for this one, I just put it there direct and I run it direct. And that's why I'm getting my result direct here. So without needing this guy. There are many ways to do the if statements. Are we good, guys?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, good. So another, I think there's a mistake, there's a small mistake here because from my point of view, gross sales is the same thing as revenue. But I know what they mean here. The gross sale they wrote here is speaking to gross cost sales, like gross manufacturing sales. That's what this one is speaking to. Gross manufacturing sales. There's a mistake because gross sales and revenue are actually the same thing in financial terms. What I want us to do is number one, let's calculate gross manufacturing sales. So to calculate gross manufacturing sales, all you have to do is say manufacturing price multiplied by units sold. Equals to units sold multiplied by manufacturing price. So that's number one question. Number two is saying what's the discount? So we already calculated the discount. This is the discount. This is discounts. And this is the discounted sales. We don't need both of them. So let me just remove. I can remove one. Don't need both of them. You can use any one, this or this. Then revenue. Revenue is sales price times units sold. But in this case, because it's discounted, so they've removed discount from your revenue. So we are going to be using discounted sales price multiplied by units sold. That's your discounted revenue. So discounted revenue equals to units sold multiplied by discount sales price. And this is your revenue now. Then it says profit before tax. It says profit before tax. Profit before tax is now going to be discounted revenue minus gross manufacturing costs. Profit before tax is also written as PBT. So I'll now say discounted revenue minus gross manufacturing cost. So this is the PBT. So now that we have the PBT, the other one is saying profit margin. How do you calculate profit margin? What's the formula that was written on that PowerPoint, please? Profit margin. Can anybody remember the profit formula for profit margin?
Okay. Okay. So you have it on the screen. Profit divided by revenue.
Okay. So before I go back, right? For someone had said that what do you call it? Discount rates. So see what they did here. They did none for when it is equals to none. They used 0. For me, I used 1. Because remember in my own form, I already said, if you look at here, what I've done is I already know it's 0, but I'm already subtracting it from 1 to get 1. There are many ways of doing the maths, pretty much. But I don't think this is the best. This is the most straightforward way. I don't think this is the most straightforward way. There are many ways of doing it. This is one way that would work. The other way would work also. It's just like calculating. It's like when someone says remove 10% from 100 naira. So when they say remove 10% from 100 naira, one way is for you to go and say, okay, 100 naira, you start finding what's the 10%. The easiest way is for you to find what is the 10% of 100 naira. When you now find the 10% of 100 naira to be 10 naira, you will now say 100 naira minus 10. You will now get 90. That's the easiest way to do it. And that's the way I showed you there. But there are many ways of doing it anyways. But guys, so for profit margin, so the formula for profit margin is profit over revenue. So in this case, our profit is the PBT. PBT, let me just write it out fully. Profits before tax. So that's PBT over discounted revenue. That's the profit margin. Equals to profits this divided by discounted revenue. If I press enter, then I get my profit margin. Next one is okay, sorry. What we have now is profit before tax. So we should calculate profit first. What does the question tells us of profits? I know there was something it said about profit. It said the profit on the tax on profit is 5%. Good. That means for you to get your actual profit, for you to get your after this thing we did is wrong. Let me delete it. We should not be doing profit margin yet because we have not gotten our profits. So for you to get your profits now, your profit is less 5%. Profit is less 5% of this guy. And the easiest way to do it, right, is for you to just say, when you say something is less 5%, you just say 1 minus 0.05. Answer will be 0.95. So that means you now say 0.95 multiplied by that thing, multiplied by profit before tax. Do you understand that I got to 0.95?
Yes, I understand. But then the question when we're doing the assignment is totally different from all of those things, all of the things that you're doing now.
And that means you're doing it wrongly now. But do you see the question? The problem here is understanding the financial terms around it. You have to analysis
That's
is
the real
not.
problem.
You have to understand the financial terms around it. And see, we all struggle with it, but it's not really hard. If you Google it, you get it. You just have to say, calculate profits with, so for example, see simple thing like calculate profit margin. Those are all things you can always Google, or profit after tax or profit before tax. Less 5%. Good. See this formula I was showing you now. Earnings before tax. By the way, guys, earnings before tax is profit before tax. So for them to get their net income, which is their net profits, they did earnings before tax multiplied by 1 minus the effective tax rates. That's the calculation I've been showing you. This 1 minus the effective tax rates. That's why I did 1 minus 0.05. I now got 0.95. So I'm now going to multiply that 0.95 by my profits before tax. And I think you can find it here. Some of these things, I know they are financial terms, but there's nobody that will teach you this one. These are the ones you have to go and do those experiments. You have to search online for. You have to read upstairs for. Nobody can teach you these ones. And I think, see, for example, now, let's use one of our text something to calculate. So we have this 525,011. 525,011. It says good. So if we are dealing with 5%, as we are, we are dealing with 5% now. They add 5% to this amount, this is what it will give them. If they subtract 5% from it, this is what it will give them. And this is what 5% of it is. Let's do our own now. Based on that 5%, which we already said, if you are using 5%, that means you're going to be using 0.95. I can say 0.95 multiplied by profit before tax. So I'm going to come here as a new column. And I'll say profits equals to profits before tax multiplied by 0.95. This is what we have, 498760. I said. So what we have here now is the real profits. If you want to bring all these things down in dollars, you just have to come here and click on dollars here. All these ones, you can put it in dollars. And many more. If you want to do Naira, you can click on this drop down and you search for the Naira sign there. But that's by the way. Now we are doing profit margin. Profit margin is profit over revenue. So profit margin. Equals to profits divided by revenue. Press enter. I get my profit margin. This profit margin is showing me too many points. I can reduce it to 2 here. What else is in the question? And that's how we got all these ones, right? So now for part 2, it's saying create a report overview for segments, products, and segment state and products. How do you do that? I can just come here and do a simple, I can do this bar chart, for example. Let's start with segments. I'll put segments in axis. Let's say I want to see my segments by profits. I'll put profits in value. Sorry, profit to value. What this will immediately show me is that I have only 3 profitable segments and 2 segments that are making losses from. I can put my labels. So as far as profit is concerned, I'm making profits on small business, government, and enterprise, but I'm making losses on mid-market channel partners. If I want to check it based on revenue, I can do another list again, and I'll put segments in axis, and I'll look for my discounted revenue, and I'll put it in value. And I can see that this amount of my revenue, most of my revenue is coming from government. Then I have small businesses, enterprise, mid-markets. So government is where my money is coming from. If I want to check it from something else, I can check it from based on tax. I can check based on anything, really. I can say based on the gross manufacturing. I can do something like this again. And I can do gross manufacturing to value, and then segments to axis. And I will see that for my gross manufacturing, the vast majority is coming from governments, then followed by channel partners, and so on and so forth. And I can name this page now. I can name it segments. Because what I've done here,
one page.
I can call this one my segment, for example. You don't need to show all this plenty analysis, and you can even make it smaller. It doesn't have to be this big. There are ways to make things smaller and to still be big enough to be seen. For the sake of training, that's the only reason why in fact, I'll just use one page. So, good. So all this side now is segments. The other one we have is states. So for states, I can use the same thing. And I will just put states here. Where states? States to axis. I can do for profits. Profit to value. And now we can easily see that Osun State is the highest in terms of profits. It's from Osun State we are seeing our money. Do another one here. So that one will be state by discounted revenue. State here, discounted revenue, value. And I can see that most of my revenue is coming from Oyo State, but most of my profits is coming from Osun State. And then you can see the for gross manufacturing and so on and so forth. And that's how this one would have been done. So when you create all those things, you now explain it. Oh, what I'm saying is, although most of our revenue is coming from Oyo State, Osun State is our most profitable state. That's the analysis there. That means majority of the money you are making from Oyo State is not even that beneficial to you. We are making the least amount of money from Ondo State, but it's our second most profitable state. That's the analysis. So again, if you look at question 3, you can say produce a report on all products sold between these dates, showing the number of sales, sales proportion, and financial performance. So all the products. So how do you do that? You can do that in a couple of ways, but the easiest way I can think is for you to use a table. If you are using a table, for example, I can put my products there, so I can see all my products. These are my products. What's the second thing it asks me to show? It says showing the number of sales. That's the count sales or some units sold. That's units sold. Number of sales is going to be units sold. So I'll look for units sold here and put it here. So now I can see the units sold. And the next thing is asking, aside from units sold, it's saying sales proportion. That's like percentage contribution of that. So you do that one. You put another unit sold beside it. Now come here, this drop down and say show value as percentage of grand total. So that you can see which one contribute there. So you can see now that Biro contributes 30%. That's sales proportion. What proportion is? Proportion is always in percentages. But you know the funny thing, guys, you don't even have to use the units or sales proportion. You can use revenue or sales proportion also. Because this one says sales, and we can look at sales from revenue gotten or from units sold. If you are selling cakes and you have sold 10 cakes in a day, when someone asks you how is business, you can say, I've sold 10 cakes today. And someone also asks you for how is market today, you can say I've made 1 million today. You can come out in both ways. Do we understand? So your sales proportion can come out in both ways. Exactly, guys. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
yes.
Yes, it is.
Then the next one says sales proportion. Then it says financial performance. So now, is this financial performance that now confirms to me that my sales proportion should be unit cost percentage? It should not be revenue percentage. Because now I want to now show them some financial performance. So I can now come here, show them financial performance first. I can put my revenue there, my discounted revenue. That's one of the indices for your financial performance. What revenue did you make? That's an indices for your financial performance. And then what profits did you make? Guys, anybody that does this simple thing that we just did now would have gotten the homework for that question. So the problem is not in Power BI, but you need to understand the business terms. There is no, Power BI is very small. The real problem is always understanding what the question itself is asking you to do and how you will achieve it on Power BI. What's the next one saying? It's saying ensure your analysis can be used to determine whether there is a growth or decline in any of them. Okay, sorry. This thing that I've done here now, I did not put the dates there. So I can now do dates to this filter on this visual to say, and I can say, I can say relative dates, not in the last, not the relative. Advanced filtering. Let me see what the dates looks like first. Okay, so we have 2013 and 2014 data there. So I can say, but there's no 2015, so I can say, show me item where the value is greater than is after, and I can now do, it's asking for months, so 12/31, 2013. That means every other thing that will be left will be 2014. Do you understand what I'm doing here? Do you guys understand what I just did here? The question says, between January to December of this period, right? And I looked at my data. I have just 2013 and 2014 there. So all I have to do is eliminate 2013. And if that's what I have to do, I can just come here and say, show me the value where the date is greater than or is higher than end of 2013. And once you apply, it's just going to show you for 2014. Another way to represent this, you can show something like a line chart. You put your products in it. You can put your dates. Sorry, I said products in it, sorry. You put your dates in your axis. You put your products to your legends, and you can now put your profits to your value. And you get something like this. You can look at them uniquely. Which guy is this guy? That's another way to do it. Another way to show it could be like this. But that's, if you show it this way, you're only showing it based on profits. Whereas if you do it this way, you can show it across many things. What else? And that's what this one is about. It says compare 2013, 2014 figures, highlighting this, that. This one says, which key products are the drivers? Which key products are the drivers of performance? So that means which product are determining the success of the organization? Which product are they making the most money from? That's what that one is just saying. So if I were to do a simple bar chart like this, bar chart, and I put products here, and I put maybe profits. Sorry. I put profits here, and I can even put revenue with discounted revenue with things. And what I will quickly see now is that our revenue and everything, most of our money is coming from biro, pencil, and A4 paper. Even though we are making sales on marker, notepad, and stapler, we are making losses from it. We are not making profit from it. Do you understand?
Me and this girl, she didn't do badly at all. No, really.
Guys, see, the assignment is tough. I know it. The assignment is tough because it's not just about your Power BI knowledge now. Because what I found is that most of you thought it was just about Power BI. What I've seen when you look at this assignment is that Power BI is not even your problem here. It's the finance that is your problem here, especially if you don't have a finance background. So a lot of things here can be strange. But that's where you need to do your assignments, because when you guys start getting data analyst jobs, the jobs are not going to, I mean, we don't want them to discriminate against us and saying, oh, you cannot be a data analyst in this company because you don't know about, you don't know finance, or you don't know about banking and stuff like that. So you need to do your own research about those things. You need to understand the difference between sales and profits. What is profit margin? Things like that. We don't always know them, but we need to research them differently. When someone says, what are the key products? What key products are driving performance? The question is, I know that question seems out of, because what's performance? But what drives performance? If they say you're a performer in your company, how do they judge someone to be a performer? It's the money you bring in and the count of sales you make. That's how you become a performer. So that means if you want to if you now want to see what key product are driving performance, that means what are the products that are selling? Either the product that has the highest sales or the product that brings in the highest money. That's how you see what is driving performance. Another one says if you would like to discontinue any product due to poor outcome, and the same visual that answers number 5 will answer number 6. When you look at this now, which product are we going to discontinue if you are the owner of the business? And guys,
It will
hello?
be the it will be the stapler.
Stapler,
Because
Stapler,
stapler is
notepad. You can still leave the marker. For the marker, you can decide on what you want to do. Maybe there's something you can do to improve the sales. But definitely that notepad and stapler, they should be gone. Because you're selling them but making losses. So only this visual alone answers question 5 and 6. Then it says, what product do we pay the highest tax on? How do you get the highest? How do you know how much you are paying in terms of tax? So what you can do to know what you're paying in terms of taxes, yeah, we have the discounted revenue. That's okay, sorry. Yeah, we have the discounted revenue, and we have the. But if you now want to get your revenue minus tax, how do you get your revenue minus tax? So you can quickly do. It's very simple. You can just do sales price multiplied by unit cost. That will give you the actual revenue that is not discounted at all. So that actual revenue, you can sorry, let me see that question again. I think I'm lost myself. It says, which products pays the highest tax? So to know the product that is paying the highest tax, you need to get your discounted revenue 1. Then you need to get your revenue less tax. So you need to remove tax from your revenue. Then you now subtract them. What does that mean? So you can say, you can create another column called taxed revenue. So you remember that tax is 5%, right? So we can say discount revenue. This is 5%, so I can say taxed revenue equals to my discounted revenue multiplied by 0.95. Do you remember why I'm doing 0.95?
Yes, for the 5% of tax.
Exactly. So now I have my tax revenue. Now to know the difference between my revenue, my tax discounted revenue, I'll just say this guy minus this guy. That will now leave me with the tax. I do this guy now minus this guy, I will get the tax. I can say tax amount now. The class comes like accounting class. Sorry. So I can now say discounted revenue minus taxed revenue. So what I will get is the tax amount. So now, if I do this, if I come here now on a new page, if I do this bar chart now, and I put the tax amount here, if I put a product, let's say products here, I can put the tax amount here, and that will show me which product I'm paying the most tax for. And to see how commonsensical it is, I can then put revenue beside this tax. So what you have in And what you can see is that now, is actually the fact is that the more revenue you pay, the more tax you pay. Does that make sense? You can see the tax amount is highest where the revenue is highest. Or you can check it, maybe not in terms of revenue, you can check it in terms of profits. So you're making losses on these products, on stapler and notepad, but you're still paying tax on it. And this one is just saying that the first one I've done is overall. Another one is you can do it for each state. You can do this calculation now for each state. So what we have here now, you can try to put states in your filter on this visual. So that if you do this, what you're getting now is just for Lagos states. If you do this, what you're getting now is just for Ogun State. So that you can see what is happening across different states. And so on and so forth, guys. Do you have any question? Hello, guys.
Hi. No, I don't. No question from me.
But do you understand if you don't have question?
Yeah.
Does this clarify anything for us? For us, rather.
Yeah. It does for me. It does. Yeah. Yes, it does.
Okay. Anyone else, guys? Where are we? We have how I don't know if this has provided any clarity for us, guys. Okay, I will stop sharing my screen now. Let's see if there's any question in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, Olade, please shoot. Olade, we can't hear you. I can see you have unmuted again, but we cannot hear you. Just talk. Don't just talk. We can't hear you. Do you want to type something since we cannot hear you?
They should use the chat box because I think your headphone is having issues again. Mubarak, she wants to share her screen.
We have a few minutes to go, but yeah. Share your screen. I think you should be able to share your screen, yes. Let's see what you got. The problem is when you share your screen, we won't be able to hear you nonetheless. The years on my y-axis are not arranged in ascending order, or the months. Let me request for control. So what happened is that on your calendar table, the months were not ordered. There's nothing that is telling you, because this is a text column, there's nothing telling it how it should be arranged. So the easiest way to go about that is to create a new column. I think one of our internet is bad. Okay, here is your system that is slow. Okay. Oh man.
I think our own is as slow as my own. Oh.
She's one of the computer users. Wow. Let me show you how to do it on my own screen. So allow me to share my screen. Stop sharing your screen so I can show you how to do it on my screen. What you have is like when someone comes here and creates a new table using Calendar Auto. So they come here and say calendar equals to Calendar Auto. And from this guy now, it then created new column, which is called the months. And here you use format your dates. And you use the MMM. So you have your months like this. And then you build your relationships. Dates here to dates here. And after doing that, you came here. You created something like this. And you went for your months here. You placed your months on axis. And let's say you placed your profit on this guy. And then you found out that the thing is not arranging the way you want it to be, because December is coming first, October is coming second, which is not what you want. Olade, please confirm that that's the issue. You can put it in the text box, please, or in the chat box. So now that we know that that's the issue, The reason is that, you see, what you've done here is a text. The computer will not be able to recognize that January comes before February. Especially when you look at how is it sorting it? Sort by month. So what you need to do, the computer to know how it should sort it, is that you do a new column. We now call this one month number equals to months dates. Now put the dates inside. So that is going to give you a number for each month. So January will be 1, February will be 2, March will be 3. So what does this do? What will this do for you? It will allow you to be able to arrange those months based on those numbers. For example, when I come to this month now, I will now say sort this month, arrange this month by month number. So now that it's being arranged by month number, this one has still not changed. But if I cancel this now, and I now bring the month here again, you will now see that it's January, February, March, April now. Because now it is being arranged by the month number. So that's how to fix that one. Are we good, guys?
Yes, we are.
So we are out of our time, but does anybody ask questions?
Okay.
Questions,
Please,
questions.
can you share this file on the group?
The one I did, Abby?
Yeah, this Power BI file. You can just drop it on the group.
I don't know how. Okay, let me see if I can save it. Desktop. It's assignments. I don't know how you guys will download it, but I wish you the best of luck. This class, this is it. Documents or file. Is this supposed to be a document or file? I don't think I can upload file here. So maybe I'll send it as an email to Simbi or somebody. Then she'll find a way to share it with you guys. Is that fine?
No, you can. If you like open your file explorer, right? Then go to desktop, drag it and just drop it on it here. Just open your file from here like this, right? Then open your file explorer.
Okay.
Desktop. Where the file is, you can just drag it and drop it on top.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Outside of that, are we good? So I think we can stop here. More importantly, in your chat, you have my contacts. You guys should reach out when you have issues. But the truth is that we have to do a lot of research on our own. Research meaning Googling stuff. Don't assume that you understand what tax is. Google it. You will get more ideas about these things. You have to Google those terms, those terminologies. It's not enough to know Power BI. You have to understand what the question itself is requiring of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining this call. I wish you the very best. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys.
Thank you, and you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mubarak. Thank you, Cindy.